What's good YouTube? It's your boy Marcus, the one and only. Now this video is Espn first take about how this is Carmelo final game or whatever, and he's not playing because of his left sore knee. But anyways, about to get right up into this motherfucking video. You should hear what fucking Stephen A. Smith talking about. He thinks he knows so much about Carmelo because he knows about Carmelo and he's close to Carmelo. But anyways, without further ado, the original video was down fucking low. And yeah, let's get into it.
New York will miss the playoffs for the fourth straight season, and Carmelo has only one playoff series win with the Knicks. Max Kellerman, as a lifelong Knicks fan, as a native New Yorker, how should Carmelo be remembered?
I've been a Knicks fan for quite a few years, by the way. I got an issue with Dolan. But anyway,
okay, sorry, lifelong.
Who doesn't? You don't like that nigga?
All right, I will mishold it.
Sold him out for the Lakers, and then look what happened to the Lakers on the Jinx. Look, Carmelo Anthony is going to be remembered as a guy who gave it all. He gave everything he had to the franchise and to the city, and so he will be a beloved sports figure in New York history. He will be among the sports figures that New Yorkers remember fondly. In an era where they had very little to cheer for, he gave them something to cheer for. But, as that promo showed, Stephen A., he's a superstar in name recognition, yes. But in terms of being able to build a winning team around him, make a deep playoff run, he failed on that account. And therefore, largely out of his control, I agree, these things are not always fair, as you say. Fair is a place where they judge pigs. He will not be remembered like Hall of Famers Walt Frazier and Willis Reed, who won championships in New York. He will not be remembered like Patrick Ewing, who was a truly great player who made deep playoff runs for a number of years. But maybe something like Bernard King, also a Hall of Famer, great offensive player, who was on a bunch of bad teams, wound up with a knee injury out of his control. Carmelo will be remembered as a tremendous offensive player who, because of circumstances out of his control, was not on a lot of winning teams and was one of the few bright spots in an otherwise dark period for the New York Knicks.
I'd like to preface my comments by saying that I'm uncomfortable with this subject. I've known Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, here come this nigga. Always got some shit to say.
About what I'm going to have to say right now. But it's the truth. Carmelo Anthony is going to be remembered from his days in New York as an individual who not only did not win, but allowed himself to get pushed around by Phil Jackson.
Bro, Phil Jackson ain't been for 2 years. Shut up.
He did give quotes. But considering the $122 million offensive juggernaut of a player that he is capable of being, there is no way in hell that Phil Jackson should have gotten away with the things that he has said about Carmelo Anthony and the position that he put Carmelo Anthony in for the latter part of the last season and a half at least. Phil Jackson passed the buck. He put the onus and the responsibility on the shoulders of a star he gave very little support to in terms of the coaches that he picked, the system he attempted to implement, and the other parts around him outside of Kristaps Porzingis. Melo, meaning Carmelo Anthony, not only didn't speak up nearly as much as he should have, but never demanded a trade, consistently swore that he wanted to stay in New York, and as a result of that gave the impression that his lifestyle and his association with the New York Knicks were far more important to him than winning a championship. And he did that by allowing Phil Jackson primarily to do the talking for him rather than doing it for himself in terms of speaking up on his own behalf. Carmelo Anthony is a really, really good dude. He's a fantastic offensive player, even with a messed up knee, because his skills are sensational. But in the end, at some point in time, the man that I know him to be off the basketball court needed to be that man in front of the cameras when it came to talking about Phil Jackson, who repeatedly, unfairly threw him under the bus.
Sure did.
And treated
Violent
him
my
like a
nigga Melo.
fair-weather stepchild. And Carmelo Anthony did little to nothing to speak up for himself. And as a result, allowed Phil Jackson to, at least to some degree, control the narrative about him instead of Carmelo taking the bull by the horn and doing it himself. And if this is indeed his last day in a New York Knicks uniform, his last day with the New York Knicks, unfortunately, because of Phil Jackson, that is the way that he's going to be remembered more than anything else.
I appreciate that point, although I think it was so blatant, Phil Jackson's meddling in a bad way in the situation, that it actually turned Carmelo by the end into a sympathetic figure. From the sense that, oh, he's overpaid, he's not LeBron James, he can't, you know...
There's a lot of players in the NBA overpaid. Carmelo ain't one of them.
And this guy is really messing with him, and it's not fair to him. Actually, I blame Carmelo's predicament more on James Dolan. Donnie Walsh, the GM of the Knicks at the time, was playing poker like a grown-up and was going to pull off a real good deal for Carmelo Anthony when James Dolan, for some reason, cut out Donnie Walsh's legs from underneath him and forced a bad trade for Carmelo Anthony, which gutted the Knicks' talent and left Carmelo on a barren franchise. I mean, if you have a less meddling, smarter owner who's not as much of a failure in terms of the on-court product as James Dolan obviously was, not as much of a disaster in that respect, maybe Carmelo's in a more winning situation and will not be remembered the same way, will be remembered as a more winning player. But as it was, he got to a franchise, didn't have anything on it, because the owner foolishly undermined the general manager. And the reason that may be on Carmelo is, as much as he wanted to play for the Knicks and tried to force a trade there, you have to have enough sense sometimes to look at who owns the team and the shape of the franchise and say, maybe I ought to stay away from that toxic situation.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have this penchant for blaming the owner, and nobody can get rid of the owner. He's a billionaire. Somebody could buy the team, but Dolan would still have to sell it to them. But the other side that you're missing to all of this, Max, is this. I'm not saying that Melo is going to be viewed negatively because of Phil. I'm saying that that's what you're going to remember most about him. I'm not saying that, oh my look, he's the villain and he's wrong and he's false. I'm saying when you remember Carmelo Anthony as a Knick, what's going to be embedded in your mind is the last 18 months with Phil Jackson as opposed to anything else.
No question.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of layers to that one, and obviously he was loyal to New York. Do you think Hobie asked to be Giant for a day or Jet for a day?
Jet, maybe. Jet would fit.
I think not.
Fascinating video. I'm tired of the Knicks losing. All they do is lose. Phil Jackson, James Dolan, you're messing up the organization. What are y'all doing? You're messing up the organization. Let me say that one more time. What are y'all doing? Fuck Carmelo. I'm sorry for y'all Carmelo fans out here, because this was shot saying out here.
They're like, oh, if it wasn't for Carmelo, the Knicks wouldn't be relevant.
Fuck that. Knicks suck. Carmelo gotta go. Okay? Carmelo gotta go. We haven't 7 years and we haven't won nothing with Carmelo. I'm sorry for y'all Carmelo Anthony fans. Y'all might hate me for this, but it's time to go, bro. Go LeBron James and CP3. Get yourself a championship, man. I'm tired of losing. Taking all these L's, man. Shit don't make no damn sense. And another thing, I need 100 subscribers, bro. 100. You know who's gonna give me that? You guys. Y'all better subscribe. Y'all better subscribe. I ain't playing. I'm just saying, I'm just playing with y'all, guys. Can't help a brother out. I need 100 subscribers. Just please. So nice. Anyways, yeah. I need y'all to subscribe, like, comment down below who you think the Knicks should draft. I think the Knicks should draft Fox from Kentucky because that boy be bowling and a lot of teams gonna fall on that guy. Tell me what y'all think down below. You already know. And subscribe. Much.